Everyone wants Liam Delap. Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Bayer Leverkusen, RB Leipzig, Everton, AC Milan, Juventus, and probably even more. Those are some of the teams his name has been linked to, and those teams will be well aware of his 30 million relegation release clause that looms over his head. This video looks to cover all things Liam Delap. Who is he? Who is he statistically? His strengths and weaknesses as a player, and which club he should actually join. Let's go. So Liam Delap is the talk of the town amongst a lot of fan bases on social media. So let's just give a little run through of his career so far, before we delve into him as a player. The 22-year-old's youth career consisted of playing for Derby County, not far from his brother, who plays for Burton Albion as a defender. A move in 2019 to Manchester City materialised, where he was very prolific. This led Delap's development to the Championship on 3 separate loan spells, mounting to 68 appearances in the EFL altogether. The first 2 loans occurred in the 22-23 season, where both were fairly unsuccessful. However, in the following season at Hull City under Liam Roseneer, he had a much brighter spell before Ipswich Town paid the big bucks for his talents. And then 12 goals and 2 assists later, here we are. Now 12 goals in 36 games may not seem groundbreaking, but context is very important. The 22-year-old leads the line for Kieran McKenna's Ipswich Town, a team who have achieved promotion back-to-back from League One. So immediately you can establish quality-wise, they're not amazing. But statistically, I think you'll be able to see that Liam Delap has done a pretty good job in his first full season in the Premier League with Ipswich. Ipswich Town have the joint second lowest big chances created in the league, and also the lowest amount of touches in the opponent's box. To add to this, Liam Delap himself averages 3.23 touches in the attacking penalty area per 90 and 28.59 touches per game. This means the striker needs to make the very most of the touches he will actually get in a game, because he's not going to be getting very many. Delap, as you can see here, is overperforming his XG by 2.9. He commits an average of 3.04 take-ons per 90. He shares the most direct carries in the league, leading to a shot, and his ball carrying frequency sits at 23.42. Only Jeremy Doku achieves more than that. From this, we can gather the number 19 enjoys taking that ball forwards whenever he gets the chance, and typically likes to look for the goal whenever possible, which would be right. But stats aside now, let's look at him as an overall package. To give you a short description, Liam Delap is a fast, strong, direct number 9 that enjoys operating with the ball with large space ahead of him and using his physicality and speed to get the best out of his abilities. To give you a longer description, then continue watching. Now, to understand the player that he is truly, then we need to start with what he's doing before he gets the ball. Prior to when he gets the ball at his feet, he loves attacking the channels with his runs, and in particular moving into open space. Now he's very good at attacking the box from across, I'll touch on that in a second, but you'll often find him for Ipswich drifting into the wider spaces in transition, mostly on the left for reasons I'll label once he's got the ball. When attacking the box, his movements are very clever. He's usually positioned on the blind side of a defender further towards that back post, before he then makes the run across that man with his brilliant timing and use of speed. As you can imagine, he pairs his physicality and frame along with that, as he often gets onto crosses that you feel he shouldn't get on. Crosses that look like they should be cleared away, Liam Delap actually gets to. He finds a way to get onto a cross, mainly due to his speed and frame, of course, but his long legs help too. When he makes a run, darting in behind a defence, he makes himself available to that through ball pretty well. With his body positioning, he's ready to receive that ball, he's open, and he's ready to run with it towards the opposition goal immediately. Now once he's got the ball, he can be deadly, depending on where he picks the ball up. Most of the time, his service consists of long direct balls from deep, straight into his path, leading to aerial duels, tussles, second balls, knockdowns for teammates, hold-up play, and more. So overall, not a very pretty play. But if he's receiving the ball dropping in deeper, maybe a pass from the centre-back like Nicholas Jackson commonly gets for Chelsea, then he's not so deadly. His touch can be off, miscontrolled, which leads to a duel where ultimately he shows off his most fouls committed stat of his game. That over-eagerness of getting to the ball clashes with his sheer size. However, in the moments he doesn't miscontrol the ball, he looks to act quick. Delap is agile, so immediately he can receive that pass on the half turn and look to move beyond the defender. His footwork and use of his body does the talking. I'm going to talk a lot about the use of his body in this video because truly he maximises the most out of it, and who wouldn't if you're a fast sprinter but also tall and strong. He keeps the ball so well in these scenarios, and it's not just on the half turn, it's within general play. Ipswich don't share a lot of the ball, so he has plenty of moments where he's got to win the second ball, as I've mentioned, or the players become scrappy, and that's when he unleashes his protection of the ball, and he does so smartly in different ways. He can either tussle his body right in between the man and the ball, like most players do. He can either throw his arm / shoulder across his man to push him away, like a lot of players do. But something that's a little bit more unique to his game is actually the use of his long legs to guard the ball. All of these can be used to buy a foul. Delap uses them pretty effectively, winning 1.77 fouls per 90. But it looks a little bit more convincing for a referee to give that foul if the contact is made directly with his leg, and it's extremely difficult for the defender to get the ball back when Delap has all of this to throw at you. He's truly a handful for defenders, and one that's really awkward to deal with, hence why he's won a few penalties this season. An area I've not touched on yet is his 1v1s. His ability to actually beat a man despite his more traditional centre forward profile is pretty impressive. As a defender, you can't really grab a hold of him, he'll shake you off, and with his mobility and speed, it completely throws you off on what to do. If you go in tight and look to challenge, then you better win that battle, because Delap could drop you to the deck or breeze past you in a single second. Now, a lot of big strong number 9s stereotypically don't have Delap's speed, but more deeply, they don't have Delap's mobility and agility. Delap can twist and turn on opponents, which he maximises the most out of. He's feeding off scrap, so he has to. But with this comes danger for the opposition, precisely because Delap can go either way. He's pretty two-footed in his approach, as we saw in his goal against Aston Villa earlier this season. You can see he destroys Diego Carlos. But the even more noticeable trait to Liam Delap's game this season is his tendency to get a shot away wherever the angle. He's confident, he can let fly from pretty much anywhere. Now, at a bigger and better performing club, this will of course be coached out of his game, but he simply has to at Ipswich. They need goals and they don't create very much, so he'll take any opportunity that he can get. But his shots from afar and outside the penalty area are struck with a very consistent technique that you can identify pretty much every time. The best way to describe the shot is like a missile, like an arrow. This could of course be his right or left foot, and he doesn't always end up on target, but when it does, it's either incredibly testing for the goalkeeper or a brilliant goal like Fulham this season. But when shooting from here, he hits it with real conviction, intent, power. His leg swings right back, so he can generate a lot of power onto that swing that follows through. You can see this same technique to a slight on penalties. Ideally, he just likes to put his foot through the ball with good swing, and when it works, it's near unstoppable. But quite a lot of the time though, it's either over the bar with too much height or blocked quite simply. Because again, as cool and raw as this technique is, it's not exactly disguised. You can see what he's doing. You can see he's trying to shoot, which makes it easier defenders to simply just get in the way and block. However, not all of his shots are like this though. If he's in on goal, 1v1 with the goalkeeper, he shares the composure just to slot it beyond him. When attacking the box as a first time shooter, he's pretty cool too. He gets to the ball quick, no messing, and achieves a good direction onto the ball. His leap too when going for a header is unreal, as you can see here against Spurs. He can leap that bit higher than everyone else, but it's no good if you can't head the ball very well. But Delap's headers share quite a consistent direction and similar motion most of the time. They are pretty good. Often with a cross, however, the ball is usually delivered just ahead of him, leaving just a subtle touch and stick of the leg by the number 19, which is important in a team like Ipswich because this sort of action is more instinctive. It requires quick reactions, and that's how Delap has really maximised the most out of himself at Ipswich. Any loose ball, cross, scrappy play, Delap works with what he's got, and it's no secret that the support and service he gets is pretty poor for Premier League level. So often the pass may not be very well weighted or very well accurate. But Premier League level is probably where we'll see him next season with that 30 million release clause. But which club would suit him best? Man United are very strongly interested, along with Chelsea and many other teams. Manchester United, I naturally hesitate with. Most of the time, probably 90% of the time, it's a talented players' graveyard and a really poor environment for young players, hence the regression of the likes of Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, and the big signings like Paul Pogba, Alexis Sanchez, Di Maria, Lukaku, Sancho, quite a lot of players, and I don't think Delap is ready to move to a big six club where the pressure and weight of expectation is an ultimate high. Chelsea, stylistically for me, I struggle to outweigh the negatives to the positives. Delap would be restricted to purely attacking the box, and although he's very clinical, maybe slightly more than Jackson, I'm not totally confident in saying he could be Chelsea's number 9. To me, the absolute perfect move would be Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest exploit teams on the break with space in the channels for their speedy front three behind Chris Wood to exploit. Delap would expose that open space excellently, and it would give the 22-year-old the chance to play in a team that actually operates more towards his strengths. Wood is very clinical, strong, and his experience outweighs Liam Delap, but Delap's speed and profile is exactly what Forest need for next season. Forest would be lethal with Delap, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi and Elanga in transition. It would be the perfect step up in his career. He won't get the same room at Chelsea and likely Manchester United, and it would be a real test of his abilities in general play when everybody's back to see whether or not he is actually very effective. But at Forest, he can do a bit of both. He can step into a great environment with European football, being mentored by Chris Wood, and as I've mentioned, simply play in a team that plays to his strengths. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, smash a like and subscribe. Where do you think Liam Delap should move to? Should it be Chelsea? Should it be Man United? Or should it be a different team like Bayer Leverkusen or Newcastle or Forest? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.